Thursday night. You know what that means. The boys are back, and it's,
Yeah, we back.
Home Team Sports 2.0,
Yes.
episode 2. We hope that you saw us last week, but if you did not, you could follow us on Facebook. You could follow us on YouTube. You can check out what we have to say about sports in general, and you can watch that episode that we had last week.
Oh, yeah.
And joining us this week, it was just me and Adrian and Chris last week, but Heel Turn Harry is back. What's up, Harry?
How we doing, guys?
Fantastic. Good to see you here. Thank you for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Glad you're here.
Tell him how you really feel, Adrian.
I just said I was glad he was here. I mean,
okay, all right.
I know he's a fellow Cowboys fan, and
he is.
I show him as much respect as I possibly can most Cowboys fans. So,
speaking of the Cowboys, both the Cowboys and the Eagles lost last week. The Eagles losing to Seattle, and the Cowboys and the Cowboys losing to Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Which loss do you guys think was worse for that particular team? Which one hurt the most? Did it hurt the most for Dallas, or did it hurt the most for Philly? We'll start with Chris, and we'll go clockwise. Chris, what do you think?
I think it hurt most for Dallas because their schedule's harder the last 3 games. I mean, I could see Philly beating the Giants twice, and I don't know who they play the other game, but their schedule's a lot
Arizona.
Yeah.
It's Arizona.
So there could be 3 guaranteed wins, but I'm not saying they're guaranteed, but they're 3 teams against teams under 500. So anything is possible. And I want to congratulate Adrian on making me eat my words from last week. You were correct, my friend.
I mean, I'm a realist. I'm a realist. It's what I do. I'm a realist. Oh, Harry, you got something to say? Harry?
Yeah, go ahead, Harry.
I mean, so it hurt the Cowboys the most because of their schedule, obviously. But I think the bigger problem that Philly fans should have is the fact that they don't look right. Like, they have no business losing to Seattle, let alone to Drew Lock. Like, Geno Smith didn't beat you. Drew Lock did. And, there seems to be, I don't want to say issues, but that defense, not as good as last year. That offense, not as good as last year. And you're winning a lot of games by the skin of your teeth. But at the same time, I mean, Dallas had it right there. I mean, they looked like shit. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I turned it off at one point. I was like, yeah, I'm all right. But going forward, if I'm a Philly fan, I'm a little concerned. But we all know the Cowboys. And, yeah. Adrian will tell you. Don't worry. He'll tell us.
Adrian, what are you telling us?
Like it's Christmas morning, a little early. I get you.
Yeah, it's definitely like Christmas morning to me. Because here's the thing. I said last week that Dallas was going to go into Buffalo and get murdered. Did I not? I said that. I said it wasn't going to be a close game. I said they were going to go there because they did the one thing that most Cowboys fans do. We get a big win. And it's Super Bowl or bust at that point. You cannot overlook a team like Buffalo. Buffalo has lost close games. Buffalo has not been really blown out. They'll lose in the second half by, a dumb mistake or something. They came out with something to prove because everybody was talking about Dallas. You had DeMarcus Lawrence on TV talking to them. You punch them in the mouth, and then you keep hitting them till they don't get back up again. Well, Dallas got beat. That was the worst beating. That was worse than what San Francisco did to them. In my opinion, you couldn't run the ball. You could not throw the ball. You couldn't do anything. You score a touchdown in garbage time. Like, that's supposed to be some send-off to do everything. Like, it's supposed to be magical. No. As bad as this loss was, I got to disagree with these two. I think the loss to the Seahawks from the Eagles hurts more because it's an exposure to what a lot of things that have been happening all season long. If you look at it, the teams that they struggled twice to beat Washington. Twice. They struggled twice to beat Washington. They lost to a New York Jets team whose offense is just it's trash. The
Non-existent.
offense is trash.
Non-existent.
They can't really move the ball, and they ended up losing that. Jalen Hurts, either he is hurt or something's up with him mentally. That team has not looked the same since last year. Last year, they were a juggernaut going into the playoffs. This year, they were winning games barely, and that was a key sign. Like you guys said, the defense is not the same. They lost the defensive coordinator, lost the offensive coordinator, I believe. Like, so both coordinators are gone. So that defense and that offense don't even operate the same. Yeah, they got the tush push or whatever the hell they call it now. It's supposed to be this big hoopla about like, oh, they want to ban
bailing them out of games.
Yeah, it's bailing them out of games. So like,
I mean,
he's winning. Like, no, but this is a bad sign for Philadelphia, because you got to think every team they're going to be facing in the playoffs are going to be like Seattle. They're going to be like Dallas. They're going to be like San Francisco. They're going to be fighting for survival. Seattle, they are fighting for survival. They're fighting to get into the playoffs. And it was not a good game. It was not a good game for Philadelphia.
Did you guys hear what? Sorry, did you hear what Nick Sirianni said about that basic bomb down at the end of the field at the end of the game? Why they threw it?
Why?
He was basically looking for a pass interference call when they threw it deep to AJ Brown.
Right.
And I don't know what's going on with that defense, but all of a sudden Patricia's calling your defense last minute, and you have no real explanation as to why. Like,
they get ran over. They get ran over.
It seems very, what's the word? Like,
suspect.
They're throwing stuff against the wall hoping it sticks. Like, they don't have a real idea of how to correct what's been going on.
Al.
Sorry, Al.
All right. So I agree with cousin Phil, who, if he was here, would be saying this instead of me. And that is, Brian Johnson is no OC. He sucks at play calling. The Eagles' biggest problem all year, I've watched every damn game, has been play calling. Situational play calling. Different, at times they look good at time management. At other times they look horrible at time management. And that last play was a joke. That last play to A.J. Brown, double coverage, trying for a pass interference, like Carrie said, was a joke. Kenneth Gainwell was wide open to Jalen Hurts' left, and he would have at least had another 5 or 10 yards after the catch. He would have put them in field goal range for a tie. But instead, he went to A.J. Brown, either hoping A, A.J. would catch it, or B, there'd be an interference call. And the defender from Seattle made a hell of a play, a crazy, like, stretching out kind of wide receiver type catch for a cornerback and he got both feet down and all that stuff. He made a hell of a play. My answer to the question, did this hurt worse Dallas or Philly? It hurt Philly, because Philadelphia had a chance with Buffalo had already beat Dallas on Sunday. So then Monday night, they had a chance to really, moving forward the rest of the season, kind of put that stamp down there and saying, we're winning the NFC East. Now it's up for grabs. Comes down to the last 3 games. And this is what the NFL wants. The NFL wants this parity. They want these games to matter. They want the last 3 Dallas games to matter. They want the last 3 Eagles games to matter. They also want the last 3 NFC games to matter for all those 7-7 teams. We got 4 7-7 teams, and they're all trying for a playoff spot. That last spot in the NFC. In the AFC, you got the same kind of parity. This is what the NFL wanted years ago when they started to enforce all these salary caps and this and that and the other thing. Is they wanted this parity. They didn't want a dynasty built. Patriots were against the norm because the Patriots just had Tom Brady and they had different things, and some people say they cheated, blah blah blah, whatever. But I'm saying they wanted different. If you look at the last 5 or 6 years, there's been different teams in the Super Bowl it's not always the same. It's not always the same team. I know the Chiefs have been a staple the past 5 years or so,
Yeah,
but
3 to 5 years. Yeah.
but now you're seeing other teams kind of work their way in, and now we're going to talk about dark horses later because there's some dark horses that are scary. That are teams that have good coaching, a solid defense, playmakers on offense. These are the tools you need. With the Eagles, I'm not making excuses that they lost Seattle. Jalen Hurts had the flu. I honestly think they should have started Mariota that game. I really do. I think they would have had a better chance to win with him because they would have ran the ball more. They would have had no design runs for Jalen Hurts. They would have had, and as far as the defensive coordinator goes, except for that last touchdown bomb by Drew Lock, they held the Eagles defense held Seattle to 13 points until that point. You realize that? They won 20-17. So the defense did their job up until that last play. So they weren't as horrible as they were against San Fran and against Dallas.
Right. I'll give you.
So I think Patricia did change things a little bit and make things a little bit difficult for the Seahawks, where they had to pull that out of their ass at the end of the game. And it is what it is. So what? They lost the game. Now Seattle has a great chance, great momentum win for them because now they're thinking, oh man, we can get into the playoffs and make some waves against the San Frans and Dallases of the world, or even the Eagles if they play them again. So what I'm saying is that makes these last 3 games matter. So the NFL wins, the fans win, TV ratings wins, everybody wins on this situation. But I think that loss hurt Philly because I think Dallas can rebound off of it. I really do.
This week.
They have the Dolphins, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But and I know that's a tough game, but I'm not saying that the Eagles versus the Giants is a freaking cakewalk because that's what people want me to say. Because every time those teams, like you guys said earlier, they had trouble beating the Commanders. They beat them, but they had trouble beating them. Whenever they played division games like that, NFC East games, throw the records out the window, man, because the Giants have showed different times. They have showed different times during the year that they can do things. They don't have a lot of playmakers on either side of the ball, but who they do have, they play together. That coach is a good coach. They found a coach. Now they need to find the rest of it. And Tommy DeVito, whatever. Here it comes. So we're going to find out Christmas Day how that goes, but we'll talk about that later. Jason's here. Jason said, would you bench Hurts for a game? What do you guys think about that?
No, absolutely
not unless he's hurt.
Absolutely not. I do agree with the whole comment you made about Mariota, but if you look around the league, about 85% of the NFL had the flu, or they were sick. They were dealing with some sort of illness. Everybody was sick. Everybody was sick, but that's a part of your job. You come out and you play. If you can play, you can play. If you can,
he was a game time decision. He was a game time decision. They pumped him full of IVs.
If he's that bad, you say you save him.
I think he should have sat. I think it was a bad coaching decision.
You save him because you risk him going out there. Let's say he's got the flu. He's not feeling well. You get a shot when you're sick. Your body's not holding up like it should. You're weak. You don't have the same level of concentration. Like your reaction time's all messed up. You go out there, you make a bad play, then boom, you lose them for the season. When all you had to do, you got a backup who was capable enough to kind of manage the team.
Yeah, so. You're right. What did you guys think of the hit from the Steelers player on the Colts? Did you guys, what he's talking about there?
Yeah, the one on Pittman.
On Pittman, yeah.
So here's what I think. I think that it wasn't the correct hit, and I think they did the right thing based on his past. Because it's not the first time that he's had this type of thing. He's known for this. And when you continuously do something like that, like you guys remember Vontaze Burfict?
Burfict, yep. Montez Burfict, yep.
This is what it reminds me of. And you do it repeatedly, and you're gonna hurt somebody. Like Michael Pittman, I'm surprised he's walking. Like he was hurt.
He was angry. That's what got him up. He was pissed. He was mad.
Yeah.
He was mad.
And it's not like it's say 10 games or whatever. All right, you sit him down for a couple games, you set a precedent. saying, "Listen, this is what it is," and hopefully it doesn't happen again. But it's one of those things. Like football is football, but you also have to be conscious of the people around you.
Yeah, absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. And you hit the nail on the head when you said like he's notorious for this. Devontae KZ, every team he's played for, if you look throughout his whole career, he has been flagged multiple times throughout the season for unsportsmanlike conduct hits, like hits to the head. Like you watch, even if you watch it in replay, right? The guy is diving head and shoulder first at somebody.
Right.
Like that's targeting. That's absolutely targeting. You're trying to. It was like, oh, you weren't making a play on the ball. You were trying to knock the guy out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, guys, let's keep it NFL for the moment. And so we were talking about playoffs coming up. We got 3 weeks left in the season. And the playoffs are starting to shape up. You're starting to see the seeding, but you're starting to see teams kind of separate, but you're also seeing teams kind of move around. I mean, yes, last week the Eagles were the 2 seed. Now they're the 5 seed. So you're going to see that in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to talk dark horses in both the AFC. I want you guys each to give one dark horse for the AFC and one dark horse for the NFC, who you guys think will not necessarily go to the Super Bowl, but it'll make waves. We'll maybe get to the championship game and, make waves, meaning take out some teams that shouldn't be taken out. Chris, you got an AFC dark horse?
Yes, I do. And Joey Flacco is the quarterback. I do believe with that defense and the offensive firepower that he's got, if he could not throw 3 interceptions and cost them the game, but he threw 3 interceptions last week, still found a way to win the game.
Right.
If he could find a way not to lose the game,
that Hail Mary play with the Bears,
could win it.
It was in the guy's. I mean, you knocked the ball down, man. It was in the guy's belly. He had it. I thought he was going to pull that off, that Hail Mary.
Well, he's also playing for more money. If he takes his team to the playoff, he gets a bonus. If he wins the first round, he gets another bonus. If he makes it to the Super Bowl, he gets another bonus.
All these incentives.
Yep.
All right. What about the NFC, Chris?
NFC, I like the way the Rams are playing right now. I see if they find a way to win out, they could possibly sneak in.
It's a good dark horse. All right, Harry, who's your AFC dark horse?
So, I mean, I don't know if you would call them even a dark horse, but I mean, if the Bills get in, the Bills are pretty dangerous. I mean, remember last year, what's the one thing that everyone wanted them to do? Run the football. And now they have James Cook, who, thank you, Jesus, fantasy team. Listen, I was upset with the Cowboy game for a little bit, but
not with James Cook.
Not with James Cook now. But I mean, the Bills. I mean, Josh Allen's reeled back. Who would have thought changing an offensive coordinator who you didn't think you should have because it wasn't his fault would do so much because now they run the ball. NFC, I like the Rams just because of Matthew Stafford is the only reason why I like them. But I mean, other than that, I think if Seattle gets in, they could, if Kenneth Walker's healthy and Geno Smith stays healthy. They have a young enough defense, and I think they could upset someone you may not want to upset, like take the Eagles game,
Yeah.
I don't see them going far, but I think they could play spoilers in the wild card game, or if they get past that, ruin someone's Sunday.
That's what I'm saying. Good ones, Adrian.
Okay, so I'm gonna go NFC first and AFC. NFC, they're getting overlooked, and it's kind of making me scratch my head. They got a really good record, and you should, like, they could be considered a dark horse team because they're being overlooked. But nobody's talking about the Lions.
Yeah,
nobody's talking about the Lions.
Jason is
10-4. They are 10-4.
They are
10-4. They're playing lights out. They had a couple of bad games, But if you look across the league and stuff, like it's any given Sunday, you're bound to lose
Right.
to somebody. You're bound to lose to somebody. I think Jared Goff is, when he remembers that he's not Jared Goff, he's a great quarterback. But after that, he has problems, but they got a really good defense. They got a really, really good offense. Their offense is severely balanced. They can throw the ball. They can run the ball.
Good running game.
That running game is great. Yeah.
Now, on the AFC side, I don't want to get too overhyped on the Bills because that's one game against a team that is notoriously bad at stopping the run. Their run stuffer was gone. Jonathan Hankins was not there. And even with Jonathan Hankins there, James Conner ran for almost 200 yards on them. So, but I agree with what Chris said. You need to be paying attention to the Browns because Joe Flacco has never had a team like this around him. He has never had this much talent offensively. He's got a good pocket that protects him. That defense is number one. That defense gets to the quarterback. It absolutely gets to the quarterback. He's never he's had teams with historically great defense. And I get it. Yeah, you want to mention the coach and stuff like that. Gardner Minshew is a hiccup waiting to happen. I'm sorry. He is a hiccup waiting to happen. You put Richardson back in there, maybe. But Gardner Minshew, he's a veteran quarterback. He takes a little bit more risk than I would like. They don't have a run game because they're missing Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor is probably gone next year. So
Jonathan Taylor's back this week.
Yeah, so you might see a different team. They still were able to pull out a win, but I'm just saying I would look at the Browns. The Browns, I would be if I was any team in the AFC, going into the playoffs, and I had Cleveland on my schedule, I would be nervous.
Right, I agree. I agree with all your picks. I really do. I mean, my dark horse before you guys started talking was Cleveland, so I can't really go off of that. The NFC though, I want to jump on Seattle because they got good coaching. Like I said, if Geno gets healthy, they got a good quarterback. They got good offensive weapons. DK Metcalf. They still got good defense. I want to say that they could upset somebody like the Lions, or they could upset somebody like Dallas or Philly. They could do that. That's my definition of a dark horse. If Buffalo wins the rest of their games, they're going to finish 11-6 and possibly steal the division away from the Dolphins. It's possible. And so I don't know if that would be a shocker to everybody and call them a dark horse, because I think they're starting to really get hot now when they need to. And I think that they've been right there in the conversation. They usually run into like Kansas City in the past few years. So they have good coaching, they have a good quarterback, they have all that. Buffalo does. So to call them a dark horse, I'm totally sold on the Browns. If Flacco doesn't turn the ball over, if the defense plays the way they're capable, they could make some waves and end up and lo and behold, they win 2 games and boom, they're in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City or Buffalo. You know what I mean? And you're like, what the hell happened here? It's weird, but it could happen. I'm not saying it can't. And same thing with the Seahawks on the other side. You could see Seahawks and San Fran in the NFC Championship game, division rivalry. You know what I'm saying? So it's possible. Is it probable? Probably not, but it's possible.
You know who's another AFC team that could make some noise if everything goes right? The Texans. I could see Houston. I could.
Yeah, they've shown different times to be all right.
I could see it. CJ Stroud. I could see it.
All right.
Don't you shake me like that.
I don't know who this guy is, but he calls himself the HTS Boogeyman. He said, "Hey guys, huge fan. Chris, do you think if a good team gets beat in the first round, it's a failure or a successful season? And also, should I let sleeping dogs lie?"
Okay. No, I think if it's a team that hasn't made the playoffs in a long time and it's their first time coming back, say if the Jets would possibly make it after 13 years, that would be a success.
Mm-hmm.
Losing in the first round, I mean, Dallas knows a lot about that.
Depending on who
So,
you're talking about, though, like if it's Dallas, as good as Dallas has looked at times this season, if Dallas is out in one round, the first game they play, I think that's a failure. But like
well,
you said,
yes.
if you like you said, if Cleveland's out in the first round, we're talking about Cleveland. If Cleveland's out in the first round, I think they had a pretty damn good year, better than people thought they were gonna.
Yeah. I mean, I see Dallas playing on the road and losing in the first round, like always.
If same thing with the
It's
Eagles.
going to
If
happen.
the Eagles were in the Super Bowl last year, if they lose in the first round to somebody like Tampa Bay, or you know what I'm saying, like that. If the playoffs were tomorrow, they'd be playing Tampa Bay in Tampa.
That's a
If I were
terrible division.
Yeah. So do
correctly,
you imagine that? So you imagine that? I mean, that's a failure. That's a
yeah,
failed season to me.
yeah,
So the
any
answer to that
team,
question is, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. The answer to that question is depending on who we're talking about here.
Yeah.
When you say good team, I mean, there's a lot of good teams that are going to make the playoffs
yeah.
and be out in the first round.
I
If
mean, if
Dallas,
Houston could find a way to sneak in, I mean, no one expected them to have Stroud at quarterback doing so well to start the season, then fall off a little bit, and then maybe come back and make a run.
are you gonna have people out there running in crutches and on the stretcher?
Do you think Mike Tomlin will have a losing season for the first time in his career?
Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
I think Mike Tomlin is done in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so.
And
I
I
do.
honestly think that's a mistake. It's
Well,
not. It's not his fault. That team is not his fault.
well, here's the problem. You have players that are not giving effort, not trying, and look very lazy. And that's a Mike Tomlin problem.
Well,
Well,
You
I
know
mean,
the
think about it
difference?
like this, Al. So you're a coach for what, 12 years or whatever? After a while, your message, your tone, your voice is gone in that locker room.
mm-hmm.
Even if you're a good coach, and we all know he's a great coach,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just your time.
Well,
You
like
know?
Belichick, right? Belichick's gone.
Yeah. And you know what? They have a terrible quarterback. They have a decent running game.
Several terrible quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. They have, I mean, they have good, solid
Kenny
receivers. I
Pickett,
like
man.
them.
I was told by so many freaking Steelers fans before this season started that Kenny Pickett is the answer. He's the man. He will shock the world, I was told.
He's the man. Yeah, he gonna shock the world because he getting Mike Tomlin fired. That's
Oh
what
my God.
he getting him fired immediately. There ain't gonna be no catharsis with that.
He's got tiny hands. I got bigger hands than him.
But you know,
Screw your hands. The kid looks 12. First of all, trying to play football.
they
Like-
waited too long, too, with Roethlisberger. They waited way too long, and now they are suffering from not going
They
on.
should have drafted his replacement 5 years ago.
Yeah, 7 cheerleaders ago, he should have been gone.
7
Yeah.
shifts.
I mean, that's easily two bathroom quickies. At least
Exactly.
bathroom quickies, you
Oh
know?
my God.
You
All
know?
right.
Exactly.
One more NFL topic, guys. Let's get these out of the way. The Week 16 predictions. I'm going to run them down, and we'll go around the room quickly. Tonight, starting with tonight's game, the Saints are at the Rams. Big game for both teams. The Saints still have a shadow's worth of a hope of getting into the playoffs. The Rams are right there. They're one of them 7-7 teams that we were talking about before, with the Seahawks and several other teams that are 7-7. But the Saints can still get in the playoffs if they steal away the AFC South. Even the Atlanta Falcons can still get in the playoffs.
Mhm.
So because of that, because the leader of the South is the Bucks, and they are 7-7.
Right.
So
So awful.
yeah, so it is what it is.
Right.
So Saints and Rams, Chris.
I'm going to go with the Rams. I think their defense is just going to be tough tonight, especially at home.
Harry.
Well, I'm going to say the Rams. And can I just ask a question overall? You remember when Derek Carr was supposed to be like this big time free agent that all these teams had to have? And yeah, he sucks. he's awful. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll go Rams just because Derek Carr sucks. I'm not alone.
All right. So you say Rams?
Yeah,
Yeah, Rams.
I don't suffer from CTE. So
Y'all say Rams. Okay, we all picked the Rams. All right. So the next game then is there's 3 games on Saturday. No, I'm sorry. There's 2 games on Saturday. My apologies. Bengals at the Steelers. We talked about that earlier. Another team. These are also 2 teams that are clinging to playoff hoops. Bengals and Steelers. Steelers are all but gone, but the Bengals still have an outside shot at a playoff berth
I think they got the same like
record.
shot. Yeah, basically they're close. If anything,
Seven
Well,
and seven.
I'll give you that right now. The Bengals are 8-6, and the Steelers are 7-7.
7-7.
oh, so they're okay.
So I mean, one game separates them. It's in Pittsburgh. It's Saturday at 4:30 in Pittsburgh. It's supposed to be decent weather. Jason's got the Bengals by 21. You got some big. Jason says Rams by 14, and he fires out with Bengals by 21.
Jason's a smart person.
Yep.
All right, Boogeyman's got some more questions, but after we'll get to it's an NBA stuff, so we'll get to that next. So don't go anywhere, Boogeyman. We'll get to some NBA questions there. Adrian loves those.
Oh yeah.
All right. So we all say what? Chris, did you pick that game? Bengals Steelers?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bengals. Nobody believes in Trubisky, so I think the Bengals do probably win by 21 or more.
Wow. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah, because on 4th and 1, Mitch is going to throw a 40-yard bomb to somebody.
It's not
The
even
other
Mitch.
team, yeah.
It's Mason Rudolph.
Oh, Rudolph's going to start.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
good
Bengals by
job.
48.
Well,
See, the only way Rudolph would lead the team into a victory is if it was on Christmas Eve and it's the day before, so they're going to lose.
That rain that got shot. No, ain't no win hit.
do you guys put any stock into no Jamar Chase?
No,
It's not. It doesn't help.
no, I think Chase was going to play.
No, Chase is out.
No, he's out.
Jamar Chase is out?
He's not
Chase
playing.
is out.
But what he means is does it improve the Steelers' chances by him not
It
being?
does.
Well,
It
of course
does.
it does.
Of
course it
I don't
does,
believe
but-
it does. Chase
Of
hasn't
course
did
it
anything
does.
the past 3 games. Past 3 games, he's had a few catches. He's not
Okay,
getting
so-
100-yard.
So
10
instead of
catch
winning by
games,
21,
you know?
they'll win by 14.
He's still
Yeah,
a distraction, though.
Yeah, but
He's
he's
still
been
a distraction.
non-existent the past 3 games.
He's still a distraction. You still
right, so
got to. You still got to account for him. Like
That's the 4:30 game on Saturday. So then at 8:00 on Saturday, you got Buffalo at the Chargers.
So they got a bye week.
Basically, it's a scrimmage. Yeah, it's a
okay.
scrimmage.
So
Yeah,
when do they fly in Jim Harbaugh? You think they're going to fly him in this week, next week?
Jim Harbaugh.
End of the season. End of the season.
End of the season.
End of the season. They're gonna wait. End of the season.
His little CIA guy's going to come with him so he can scout out other teams.
Yeah, they're gonna throw that coach out like Uncle Phil used to do. Jazzy Jeff. That's what's gonna happen. Yeah. So end of the season.
So we all got Buffalo there. Then we got the Commanders at the Jets. That's the 1:00 game on Christmas Eve. Chris?
You got the top ranked or the worst offense against the worst defense. And usually when that happens, it turns out to be a really good game.
Right.
So I'm going to take my team. I'm going to say 21-13.
I'm with you on that, Harry. I like the Jets in that game.
I'll say the Jets defense holds it down, and Sam Howell looks as bad as he is.
Looks foolish.
I don't.
Are you going to argue? Are you going to argue the Commanders are going to win?
No, I'm not. I'm
Okay.
not. I'm not. I want to.
Final
So
score 9-3 Jets. There you go.
Let's just say it's not going to be the
That's-
game of the week, okay?
that score's too high, Jason.
Right.
That score's way too high. Be 6-0.
2-0.
All right, let me get this question in because I just finally read this question. So the Home Team Sports Boogeyman, I know who this is, and you guys are going to know as soon as I put this question up. So what's more impressive, the Bulls run in the 90s or 3 fantasy championships in a row?
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, you should tell your son to get off the internet. It's what you should
It
do.
ain't my son. Chris and
No?
Adrian know exactly who that is.
Oh, boy.
I know exactly.
And
what it is.
listen, I want to
It's my best friend.
before he jumps off of here. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm found out." Merry Christmas to you and your family, and
Mhm.
we missed you. And you are welcome on here.
It's got it. Oh, I know who it is now. Now I know.
It's my best. It's my best friend. It's my best friend.
It's your best friend.
It's my best friend. It's my
Dude,
best friend.
I'll send him a link right now if he wants to
Yeah.
come on. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's my best friend. Yeah.
Jen's here. Jen 6-0 or 6-0 Jets is what I was typing. 6-0
Oh.
Jets.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's
All right,
that's
yeah.
about right.
We
I
all
said
took the Jets. We all took the Jets. We haven't argued yet over a game yet, so we're all picking the same. So the next game on the list here is the Lions at the Vikings. Big game for the Lions. They want to. I believe they win the division if they win that game. I could be wrong.
Justin Jefferson out again.
No,
Is he? I don't know. Is he?
he's supposed to play.
Is he going to
Who's
play?
quarterback?
The quarterback is
I am correct. I am correct. If the Lions win, they win the NFC North.
who's the
Yeah, they're
quarterback?
up 3 games. They're up 3 games on Minnesota.
Right, but I'm saying it's not locked yet because they have to beat them here.
Right.
So it's in Minnesota, but I think the Lions. I got the Lions. You guys?
So do I. I got the Lions. It don't matter.
I got the Lions, but I think it's going to be a good game because,
Oh yeah,
in my eyes,
Vikings will give them
Minnesota
a
has a
fight.
top 2 defense in the league. Minnesota's
They do?
defense is really good.
Where's your glasses at?
No, they do.
Look at
He
the
said in
rankings.
his
They're
eyes.
ranked
He
number
just
2
laughed.
or 3 right now.
They just
Shit.
Vikings defense is ranked 2 or 3 in
they
the league.
lost their quarterback for the whole season. They lost key offensive lineman. They lost Jefferson for like he plays 3 games. He's off 2 games. Plays
And
3
he-
games. He's off 2 games.
But
He
Josh
playing some
Dobbs.
spinal surgery.
No Josh Dobbs. No Josh Dobbs. No. We're not.
Dobbs had fun for a while.
Won a
But
couple
he-
games and then got
Won a
benched.
couple games and then what? Lions by 3. Yeah, I like that. I mean, Chris said it. Jason, you're right. It's going to be close. It's going to be a divisional games. I think the Lions pull it out. I like that score by 3. Sure.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll
take that any day. Absolutely. All right. So next is the Cleveland Browns. We were talking about them earlier. Now, this is big. Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. And we were talking about them too. This is almost like a playoff game for both of those teams. You know what I'm saying? Both teams trying to get into the playoffs. So it sometimes makes for an interesting matchup. How beat up are the Texans? Are they still beat up? You guys were talking
Half the
about
team is on IR.
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No CJ Stroud this week.
Half the team's on IR. They're out there in iron lungs and wheelchairs trying to play snow.
Tank Dell. I mean, he's not playing.
Yeah,
You know.
Dell's out for the year.
Yeah.
Collins
Singletary's
is
there.
on.
Singletary had a big game last week.
Collins
Remember
is on.
remember their rookie running back last year, Pierce? He was so amazing. Yeah, he's not so much.
Mhm.
So is everybody just taking Cleveland then?
Cleveland.
Leaving
Because Cleveland
Flacco.
rocks.
Does Zeke get 30 points this week?
Who is he playing?
I
Wait.
benched him.
Does Zeke get 30 points in a season, let alone this week? Because
He
He's
got
against
it.
the Broncos. Zeke's against the Broncos in Denver.
yeah,
No, he's not going to. He got me 27.5 2 weeks ago.
Browns by 14, Jason says. Jennifer says, if Stroud is still out, Flacco and the Browns will win. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Stroud was playing good. Stroud was playing really good. So the next game on Christmas Eve is the Packers at Panthers. Panthers off a fresh win last week against Atlanta. I'm mentioning that because I'm sure my son's watching. They won 9-7. That was their second or third win of the year, I believe.
Can we all agree
Looking
that
for a winning
Desmond
streak.
Ridder awful?
What'd you say, Chris?
They're looking for a winning streak now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter. Oh,
Jason says Packers by 28. Adrian, it's not will the Packers win, but like by how much?
92 points.
92.
92
I
points.
actually think it's going to be a close game.
Jordan
The
Love,
hell it's
baby.
gonna be.
Jordan Love, baby.
Kyle Pitts
I think
needs
it's
to
gonna be a
ask
close
for a
game.
trade, like yesterday. Like seriously, you draft the tight end in like top 10, like top 5, I think actually.
And he
Right.
ain't did shit in 2 seasons because they won't throw him the damn ball.
No, you know,
Right.
if we have an opening in Dallas in case Atlanta wants to get rid of a tight end,
We got Ferguson,
You
baby.
got Ferguson
Yeah,
there.
you got Ferguson.
I'll take Pitts over Ferguson.
I
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't
Not the
go that
way
far.
Ferguson's
I
been
wouldn't.
playing the past 5 games.
Yeah, Ferguson's awesome. I know he could have rookie of the year. I know people giving away Panthers tickets with no takers.
Hell
Yeah,
no.
they still.
Why would you want to watch a murder?
So the Panthers were home last week, and they did this. They were giving tickets away for as low as $5, and when they with 15 minutes left before the game, they showed the crowd, and there I swear it looked like there was 1,000 people there.
Yeah, that's about right. That's how many people that should be there.
Oh
That's
my
exactly
god,
how many people that should be there.
that's embarrassing. It's
Well,
so embarrassing.
Think about it like this: you gave up all that stuff to get Bryce Young,
Now what?
and
Is he even the man? I mean, do you guys think he's the man? Future?
No.
Is he the future of
No.
for the franchise?
he's RG3.
With what
reincarnated.
help? With what help?
Right.
Who is CJ Stroud really throwing it to?
Nico Collins is a good receiver. Dale's a good tight end. The only problem that Houston didn't have, they had nobody to command that offense.
No, you give that guy a receiver though. You give that guy a top 5 primetime receiver, CJ
Mhm.
Stroud. That
Right.
they're gonna be a problem next year.
Right.
Yeah,
No.
but was anybody really talking about Tank Dell and Nico Collins? Like,
Yes. Yeah, they were. They
were.
just because they had who was the quarterback for them last
They
year?
take Falcons tickets for 65 cents.
That's too high. That's too high. You give them away. Ain't nobody watching Atlanta. Oh man, you gonna see Desmond
We're
Ritter?
getting to Atlanta. Wait. We're getting to Atlanta. Okay, so we're all agreeing the Packers over the Panthers. So how about
Yeah.
Seahawks and Titans?
That'll be a good game.
Ooh.
That'd
Well,
Chris is
Let's
thinking
say
on
that-
that one.
yeah,
It's
'cause
in
the Titans are already
Tennessee.
eliminated.
It's in Nashville. What?
The Titans are eliminated.
Correct.
So Seattle's the only one that has a chance to still make the playoffs. And if they're
Correct.
playing at Seattle,
Yes.
that's one of the
No.
toughest places
It's in
in
Nashville.
Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going to take Seattle, but I don't think it's going to be that much
As
of a
easy. It's not going
pushover.
to be easy, but they'll probably
No.
win.
Yeah.
Harry, you with
I'm going to take Tennessee. I'm going to take Tennessee.
Ooh, that's the first disagreement in this whole list. Why?
Yeah.
Can I ask
He got
why?
CTE. He got a head injury. That's what it is. He got a head injury. It's okay.
No, because I think Will Levis he's a good quarterback, and I think Derrick Henry will be the
They're not
difference.
going coast to coast, Anthony. They're staying home. They're in Tennessee, I swear. Or did they play in the West last week?
I think they played in the West last week.
Did they? Who'd they play last week? I didn't know.
Exactly.
Did they play the Raiders?
They played. Yeah, I think they did play the Raiders.
Or somebody out there? Okay, then I apologize, Anthony. Oh, the Seahawks. Anthony's picking the Titans because it's hard to go from home to the East.
I
to
knew
the West
I
Coast.
liked them a little bit. I knew I liked them a little bit.
All right, so Anthony's picking the Titans because of that. So he agrees with Harry on this upset pick there at the Titans. Adrian, you think that they injured their heads? What? Go ahead.
Who's quarterbacking? Lock's quarterbacking. That dude had to use confidence boost, beating one of the number 1 teams in the NFL with a deep pass. Yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks.
Okay, but it's going to be closer than you think.
We'll see.
All right. I'm laughing just at the game. Was looking at the game that's next. I'm just laughing at it. It's the Colts at Atlanta.
Oh my god. Colts.
You taking Minshew Mania is going to continue to run wild?
Colts.
Minshew Mania. Chris, you agree with that?
This is actually a tough game to pick. You wouldn't think, but some weeks the Colts show up, some weeks they don't.
Some days the Falcons show up.
It's good
some
that
weeks
the
the
Falcons never
Falcons
show
show up, and Ritter throws for 300 yards and they win the game. It's just
Heineke-
it's the NFL. You never know.
Heineke's the quarterback this year. This
What
week.
kind of defense? What kind of defense
I'm going with the Falcons.
does Indianapolis
Falcons
have?
got like Falcon. I'm going to take the Falcons.
I don't know. I'm asking. What kind of defense does Indianapolis have?
Mediocre. Atlanta has a really good defense.
Chris, can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Is there something in that dip that you got?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm just okay. Then that explains everything. Go ahead.
Hey, they got 7 wins, don't they? Or 6 wins? They
Again,
obviously beat some teams. They
Yeah,
beat some teams to have that many wins.
Yeah, they beat
They can't play the
NFC North.
Panthers every single week, can they?
Okay.
No, because then they'd be undefeated.
No,
Exactly.
yeah. The Falcons are 6-8.
And they're still in it. They still have a chance to win the
They
division.
have an outside chance. They have something to play for.
So annoying.
That division sucks, though. Can we just come on? Like,
No, you're right. I'm not
they
saying
beat
you're
each
wrong.
other. That's how they get the win. They beat each other.
They need
Hey.
to get voted off the island.
Didn't the Panthers get in at like 6-10?
All right,
but then they
so
won their first playoff game.
Here's who they've beaten. All right, the Falcons have beaten
The Jets.
Carolina. They beat Carolina.
Trash.
They beat the Packers.
Trash.
They beat the Texans. That's a little bit tougher.
They
That was mid-season. CJ Stroud. They beat the Texans 21-19.
Okay, yeah, they won. They barely won that one. Yeah,
They beat the Buccaneers.
Trash.
And then they've lost. They lost 3 straight, and then they beat the Jets.
Enough said.
And then they lost to the Buccaneers 29-25.
Okay.
And then they lost to the Panthers last week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was the Falcons. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like they haven't beaten any. It's not like everybody they've beaten have been trash, like you were saying. It was like the Texans are not complete trash.
They only won against one good team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had 5 bye weeks and played one good team. Gotcha.
Like the Cowboys. Same thing. They've only won against one good team, the Eagles.
I mean, I give you that one. Well, I mean, they won against Seattle. Seattle's a decent team.
They barely won Seattle. Barely. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. So where were we? So that was well, no, Harry takes no, I'm sorry. One of you took Atlanta, right?
I took Atlanta. Yep.
Yeah,
you
Atlanta.
Not the head injury.
We got the Colts. Okay.
Yes. Thank God.
Big game for both teams here. Jacksonville at Tampa. Tampa's trying to win the AFC South, and the Jaguars are trying to win. I'm sorry, the NFC South, and the Jaguars are trying to win the AFC South.
That's
you put your head down like both of these teams are trash. You realize both of these teams might most likely be in the playoffs?
I'm thinking. I'm not putting my head down. I'm thinking.
I can't believe I have to pick this fucking game.
I mean, I feel like that, but I'm thinking. I got my thinking cap on.
I'm with Anthony. The Jaguars are going to win.
Yeah, I like the Jags in a tight game. Unless Baker has a great game like last week and just lights it up, I think the Jags will win.
Harry, what do you think?
Well,
Jaguars and Buccaneers.
Not Dexter. Lawrence might not play.
Affordable.
Trevor Lawrence might not play because
you got the ankle injury.
And the concussion too.
Oh, you got the well, Tampa Bay left out.
So I mean Baker Mayfield's probably the next Jamarcus Russell, but I'm still gonna pick Tampa.
I picked Tampa.
Yeah, just because there's no Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that's the only reason. I'm taking that.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. I didn't want to talk unless you were done. All right. I got the Jags in that game. So then, 4:25, Christmas Eve. Dallas at Miami. Chris, what do you think?
Well, Tyreek Hill will be back.
He will.
And I'm not a believer of Dak Prescott on the road, even though I'm starting him in my fantasy. Until he proves he can win a big game on the road, I'm not believing in him. I'm going to take the Dolphins.
Harry.
So this is going to pain me when I say this. Only because it's in Miami am I going to say this. Adrian needs to stop.
Adrian, let him make his pick.
I'm going to pick the Dolphins to win.
Oh, thank you, Jesus.
All right. Miami. Dallas was like watching the Jets last week. Yeah, I'll sort of. All right. So Jen picks the Dolphins. Chris picks the Dolphins. Harry picks the Dolphins. Adrian.
Because I don't suffer from head injuries, and I'm a very clear-headed person. I am picking Miami. Definitely, they can't stop the run. Dallas can't stop the run. Buffalo didn't really throw the ball last week. They ran the ball down their throat. And who has the best running tandem in the NFL? The Dolphins. So,
but they're more speed, so I think Dallas's speed on defense can somewhat keep up with them.
All right. So you're gonna make the only Eagle fan in this room pick the Dallas Cowboys.
You're picking the Cowboys? Don't do that.
I am picking the Dallas Cowboys
because
you know why? Dallas needs to make a statement here.
They haven't lost 2 in a row.
They really do. They haven't lost 2 in a row. As Chris said, they've been so much better at home than they have been on the road. Dak Prescott is a different animal on the road. This is true. I don't trust Dak Prescott. I don't. And with Tyreek Hill coming back, all signs point to Miami. And the way that Buffalo won last week, everybody and their mother's going to put money on the Dolphins. And guess what? The Cowboys are going to pull us out of their fucking asses by 3. Cowboys by 3.
Here's
my pick.
But here's how Dallas does win, though.
Boys,
Miami's offensive line is beat up. If you can get into his face, I think you can win. And if anybody can get in his face, Parsons can get in his face.
Absolutely.
That's the only way they win is if you can get.
Because Parsons is going to make trouble for Tua. I'll tell you that right now.
The only way.
Everybody in media, in sports media, has been calling out Michael Parsons for the past 2.5 weeks now.
Yeah. Yep.
He's going to have 2 sacks, one of which he's going to cause a fumble.
We'll see.
All Miami has to do is hand the ball off to 2 guys all game long and have to throw
is
the
Tua
ball.
Playing? He's saying concussion for Tua. Is Tua playing? Because if Tua's not playing, I'm changing my pick to Dallas.
Nothing for a concussion with Tua.
Well, I mean, you can flick him in the ear.
Maybe he's saying Parsons going to give him a concussion.
He's going to sneeze and catch a concussion. What's going to happen?
That's possible. I'm not saying it's not. All right, so y'all picked out Miami, and I picked Dallas.
Yeah.
Thank you for making me pick Dallas.
I had to pick Miami, so.
It was a smart. I'm proud of you.
Have to pick Miami.
No, he did. I'm proud of him.
It's the sexy smart pick. It is. It's the sexy smart pick because of what happened. You suffer from recency bias. It's like picking against the Eagles. There are people picking that the Giants are going to beat the Eagles this week based on the fact that they're on a 3-game losing streak. But you realize they played the 49ers, the Cowboys, and Seahawks. They didn't play 3 scrub teams.
And they got blown out 2 of those 3 games, though. So
yeah. So what? My point is that everybody needs to relax on that because they got this, no problem.
Yeah.
All right. Cardinals at the Bears. Yeah, he's saying Tua's going to get one. Tua doesn't have a concussion; he's going to get one.
Yeah, Bears.
The Bears. The Bears have looked pretty decent lately.
Yeah,
Chris?
They got Justin Fields back. Bears.
Yeah, Bears.
I'm going to go Arizona.
Oh, my God.
I'm going Chicago just because he said that. It's in Chicago. It's in Chicago.
I was so proud of you. I was so proud of you. I was so proud of you, Harry. I was so proud of you.
And then the Sunday night game is Patriots at Denver. Christmas Eve, Sunday night, 8:00. It's Patriots at Denver.
I don't know. Sean Payton going to hurt Russell Wilson's feelings again?
The Bears Bears. Everybody's picking Bears. All right. Chris, who do you got? Broncos?
Hey, I got Broncos. Broncos over the Pats.
Harry?
I mean, I feel like the four of us could beat the Patriots, so I'm gonna have to go Broncos.
You're giving me hope when you say stuff like that.
Harry.
Well, I aim to please you because
Harry,
I'm a huge
Cousin Phil wants to know how about the Phillies against the Braves? That's a little. I mean, that was months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Phillies knocking the Braves out of the playoffs. That's what you're trying to say.
unfortunate.
They also lost the National League Championship.
That is true.
Cousin Phil.
I mean,
Patriots, says Jason.
The
Harry,
hell?
Harry, did you pick the Patriots?
No.
Denver.
Yeah, Denver.
So everybody's picking Denver except for Jason. All right, cool. So on Monday night, right? Monday, Christmas Day, we got 3 games. Starting with 1:00, you got the Raiders at the Chiefs.
Chiefs. So no, wait a minute, hold up.
Adrian jumped on the Chiefs and he's like, wait, no.
Come on. You can't talk all that smack then talk about Ian O'Connell. Come on, stop it.
Patrick Mahomes, baby.
You know what? Kadarius Toney is playing for the Raiders, so I would say it's gonna be hard to pick. I'm still staying with the Chiefs, but that man drops more balls than I drop food on my stomach. So
That's a lot of food.
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm losing weight. That's what's happening.
All right, so Jason says Raiders, Jen says Chiefs. Chris, what do you say?
I'm going to say Chiefs, even though they might drop 7 balls in the game. I think they're going to find a way to win the game.
Man,
Phil, make sure you're
imagine
hard head.
Patrick Mahomes had a good receiver
He did in Miami.
other than
He did,
Travis
I played in
Kelce.
Miami, yeah.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he misses that guy because all he has is Travis Kelce. So what teams do is they double team that guy, and they're
Yeah,
like,
but
"All right, you need to beat us with these one-on-one matchups."
Pacheco's good play too.
The first time we've ever seen him lose his cool on a receiver too. So the frustration's mounting.
So Tony has
He's
balls
got the
bounce
young kid.
off his hands like Chris off his chin.
God,
I love this man.
I miss Anthony so much.
Oh my god, that's your bestie right there. All right, anyway,
that's my boy, dude.
So game 2, the 4:30 game on Christmas Day, is the New York Football Giants and the Eagles. Chris?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. Tommy DeVito let me down last week. I was hoping he would have a big game. But Eagles.
Giants will win if the Mafia pays off the refs.
Now, the Eagles need this game. So I think they're going to find a way to win.
It's
this
in
is a
Philly.
must-win game.
Absolutely. Especially because I'm going to be right, and Dallas is going to beat the Dolphins, so they need to win this game. Harry?
Yeah, I'll go Philly.
Tommy Cutlets is over. What about you, Adrian?
I'm going Philly. I'm not stupid.
His time is running out. All right, and the final game of Week 16, the Monday night game, is the Ravens at the 49ers. Holy shit. Some people are calling that the Super Bowl preview. What do you guys think, Chris?
I think so.
Ravens at 49ers.
I only like the 49ers because it's at San Francisco. I think it's going to be a shootout.
That's the only reason you like the 49ers?
AJ versus Chris.
Hey, I watched the 49ers lose 3 games in a row to mediocre teams this year already.
When they didn't have anybody on offense, yeah.
So who's winning on fantasy, Adrian? JJ or Chris? Cousin Phil wants to know.
I got to go with the champ. I'm sorry. I got to go with the champ.
You got to go with Chris?
I got to go with the.
Yeah, I want Chris to win only because so I can see Anthony versus Chris in the finals. That's all.
Yeah, wait, no JJ? Chance. Oh, JJ.
No, not AJ. JJ versus Chris.
Yeah, I take Chris.
49ers are winning. Back. Jen's got 49ers. Harry, 49ers or Ravens?
I'm gonna say 49ers by at least 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. See, he's back, y'all. Thank you, Harry. I'm so proud of you. You don't have to say. Go ahead.
You all feel that way?
To make you proud.
My baby's growing up. Yeah, 49ers all the way.
I got 49ers, but not by 2 touchdowns. I think it's gonna
What
be
the hell
closer.
is wrong with you?
I think it's gonna be closer than you think.
No.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think McCaffrey threw all over them.
Lamar
That's what I'm
Jackson will be
saying.
out for the
I think
season.
it's gonna end up being a shootout. I really
Lamar
do.
Jackson will be out for the season because Fred
I
Warner
think it's gonna
will knock
be.
his skin tone
I
loose.
think it's gonna be like 31-28.
All right, I'm telling you, he's gonna knock his skin tone loose. You keep playing like Fred Warner hits hard. He gonna hit him.
I
And he
think
gonna be
Chris for
like,
fantasy, so I don't have to listen to him pitch.
hell no.
Hot damn!
Yeah.
Ravens D is going to be a good test for Purdy.
Yeah, definitely.
No,
They got a good
49ers
secondary.
going to win.
they do.
By
They
7.
do.
Yep.
They do, but they ain't got no good run defense.
All right, fellas.
Keaton Mitchell's gone for the year, so
that is week 16. That is our week 16 picks. So we got one more subject up for grabs here. And then we'll end this thing and say Merry Christmas to everybody. And that is you guys wanted to bring up Colby Covington. Is Colby Covington worth the hype? Adrian, go ahead. Is Colby Covington worth the hype?
Colby Covington is a wrestling character who works for the UFC. I mean, both WWE and UFC, they work in tandem. But Colby Covington is by far a caricature. That is it. That is it. He is in big fights. Anybody know what his record is in big fights?
not good.
Yeah, he's 0-3. He is 0-3. The man, when it comes down, brass tacks, hardcore money, he is 0-3. Leon Edwards could have put him away several times in that fight, but he didn't want to because he wanted to torture that man. The only reason that Leon Edwards was ever in trouble during that championship fight is because Leon Edwards was getting a little too emotional. Leon Edwards out-wrestled him. He outstruck him the entire fight. There was no upside. He dominated the end of the 5th round because Leon Edwards got a little too cocky. But Colby Covington is his big thing is he's a wrestler. Nobody takes him down. Leon Edwards had 2 or 3 takedowns on him, and then he tried to submit him a couple of times. So if you ask me, Colby Covington should not get a shot. Colby Covington needs to go off in the sunset somewhere and do like I Believe in Alien podcast somewhere. So that's just my take.
Harry, you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, he was never a great fighter. He was good. But my problem with him is, like, I get it. There's smack talk. There's, you got to try to get under the skin. But when you bring a man's dead father into a conversation as your form of trash talk, like, you lose me there.
Yeah.
And you know what? He's not good. And to me, he's a poor man's Conor McGregor.
He tried too hard to be Conor McGregor. You saw what happened when Conor McGregor started talking too much smack to Khabib. And Khabib, he almost got murdered.
Now he got terrible whiskey. So it's just, it's sad because, like, you want to have a hype, and you want to have a hype man, and that's what he's good for. But you can't do that shit. Like, you can't talk about people's family like that, especially deceased ones. Like,
he lost his dad at an early age, and it's still something that affects him to this day. Colby Covington was scared. He was scared. He was scared. He was terrified of that man because he knew he had crossed the line. And same thing with Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor knew he had crossed the line. And if you watch that Conor McGregor and Khabib fight, at the end of I think it was the 2nd round, Conor was like, "Hey man, I was just trying to hype the fight," and Khabib said, "Fuck off."
Yeah, you can't.
Chris, you got anything to say? Because we got one more topic before we get out of here.
Not too much. I mean, I watched a few of his fights, and he never gets knocked out. It's always a decision at the end. I don't believe I've ever seen him get knocked out.
He's been finished several times.
He's been finished?
Yeah, he got his jaw broken against Usman, and they had to stop the fight because he was blocking punches with his face too much.
Okay, so was he the next ranked fighter, like ranked number 2? How did he get this title shot?
No, he was it was literally next man up because the number 1 guy he fought twice and beat him. He knocked out Usman. Usman was a champ.
Yep.
Leon Edwards went from like number 3, so he was a champ. Usman was still number 1. They had a rematch. He beat him by decision. So the next guy in line already had a fight lined up, and Covington was coming back off of being on a 2-year layoff. And Dana White loves hype people, so he put the guy. Colby Covington was ranked number 5. I mean, he shouldn't have been ranked He shouldn't have been ranked at all. Colby Covington is not worth the hype. I'm sorry. He gets, his fights are no. You've been gone for 2 years. You have been on a layoff for 2 years. They talk about, Colby Covington's gonna come in there. He's gonna blitz him. He's gonna blitz him. He walked in the fight scared. He was terrified. It was worse than when Francis Ngannou fought Miocic for the first time. It was worse than that. So I'm sorry. He's just nothing against him personally. I get it. You talk smack and you try to get under people's skin and you try to get in their head and throw them off the game. You pissed the guy off, and the guy wanted to hurt you real bad. So
yeah, and that's the one sport where you can hurt somebody.
Barely. Years ago, maybe. Years ago, we talking about recent. What have you done for me lately? You done for me lately?
All right, so we're going to get out of here with one last final topic. We had other topics, guys, but we're already past an hour. So we'll talk about them next week. We're going to talk the NBA in-season tournament. We were also going to talk our picks for the NFL MVPs, who we think might take those. Maybe Rookie of the Year, also AFC and NFC defensive and offensive MVPs. We'll talk about that next week. In the meantime, we're going to get out of here with one last thing, and because Adrian mentioned that Covington comes out to Kurt Angle, or who did you mention that come out to Covington to Kurt Angle's music?
Kurt Angle's music. He came out to dun, dun, and everybody was doing it. You suck.
Oh, you suck.
Yeah, everybody was doing it. It was.
So if you guys were in a fight or wrestling match or whatever you wanted, a boxing match, whatever you want to do, like what would be your walkout music, Chris? Like what would you walk out to if you were in a fight? Or
I'd steal Randy Orton's.
You like
Randy
the
Orton's
voices
and come out with his.
All right, Harry.
That's some motivation.
Man, if we're gonna stay WWE themed, I'd probably go.
You don't have to.
No. I mean, because I can't think of anything else really that would probably the Undertaker's music, the American Badass, as opposed to
the American Badass. Yeah. Adrian, I mean, you've had walkout music.
Yeah.
You're the only guy here. So I don't want you to pick the stuff you've already come out to. I want you to go original.
No, okay. So like if I'm coming at UFC, I want to be able to be in I want something fast paced. I want something intimidating. But I want something like that'll get him. Like DMX always has great walkout music. Like I'm not coming out to X and give it to you. I come out to he's got a song intro, but they have that. A lot of people have come out to that crap. Like ISIS by Kill Shot by Eminem. That's what I'm coming out to.
Not Billy Gunn's music.
No, Kill Shot by Eminem.
You don't want to be an ass man? No,
I don't want to be an ass man. I'm definitely not an ass man. He coming out to Boys to Men.
No, I think he's saying you'd come out the Boys to Men.
Why? Because I'm black. I'm coming out the Boys to Men. That is,
maybe he's saying he's going to come out the Boys to Men. I don't know.
He's coming out the Motown Funk.
He might make some love to you, just like you want him to.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's going to do to the fight.
On that note, we're going to get out. Me?
Yeah.
My walkout music is easy. Master of Puppets, Metallica.
See, you know what? I love you.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. I love you because that has Stranger Things.
Yeah,
Stranger Things.
I'm sure.
How about the Mark Henry theme? Yeah. How about the Mark Henry theme? He says, "Yeah."
That's a good one. Somebody's gonna get their ass kicked.
Somebody's gonna get your ass whipped. That's a good one. All right, so we're out of here. We will be back next Thursday at 7 p.m. subscribe, like, share, tell your friends about Home Team Sports every Thursday at 7 on YouTube right here on and also on Facebook. Check out the Home Team Sports group. Join the group and share your sports knowledge, your sports opinions, your sports breaking news. Maybe give us some tips, possibly on subjects that we could talk about on the show. All that kind of cool stuff. But we'll be with you next Thursday. In the meantime, Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas, guys.
Happy New Year, all that cool stuff.
Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and all that other fun
Whatever
stuff.
holiday you celebrate, happy holidays to everybody. And, I want to say happy holidays to my boys here in this room.
Happy holidays, man. You guys be good. I'll see you after Christmas.
Christmas.
After Christmas. After Christmas.
All right.